And RJB here for RJB Starcraft Cast's YouTube channel, and today I have a game between JH and GoldSCV. And I am already noticing that the locations are quite bad for JH, who's now here playing the Red Terran on the middle right of the map up against the top right of the map, where GoldSCV is located in the corner, who's playing the blue Terran. And I can already tell you in advance that this game is going to be an absolute uphill battle for JH here. Because one of the known imbalances of the Western space map is that a middle spot is really vulnerable to drops from the spot that's right above it. And this is like pretty much the most perfect spot for a Protoss to play from. But this game has to go in favor of GoldSCV. If JH manages to pull off a win here, it's going to be an absolute upset. Like, all the odds are stacked up in favor of GoldSCV by at least a magnitude of 1 to 7. 7 to 1. Well, pretty much the same thing, but... Right, so he finds him on the second scout. Right below him. So the mid build is in a very, very, very beneficial location for GoldSCV. Pretty much right outside of the base where JH is located. JH starting off with 3 barracks. Good call. Good call, though he's not making a Marine. Marine is now being queued up. Probe goes in again. He's going to try to find a little bit more information here. Build a pylon there in the top corner of the base as well. Because the aim here for GoldSCV is to get a cannon push going with the support of these zealots. Online probes there. Gonna hotkey this location. This location, this location, and this location now all hotkeyed. Right, so he's already sent a Marine out into the middle. Try and deal damage to that probe. The probe ran away. Controlled quite well by GoldSCV. Now zealots have spawned. There's a bunker there in the front. He tries to get another hit off on the probe, but has to pull away. I think he damaged one of these. Oh, I heard the sound, but he damaged... Oh, the probe shield regenerates quite quickly, so that's it. Right, so a single Marine goes down. GoldSCV decides not to go into the base itself. Although he can walk those 2 in. Well, he could have. Now he no longer can because there are too many. But he can walk those 4 or 5 zealots in and just start attacking the bunker because there's no SCV close to repair it. But he decides to ignore the bunker. He's going to go for those units behind it, which opens up these 2 cannons for JH to attack with those 2 Marines. But GoldSCV doesn't manage to get a flank off on those Marines. Marines now have to pull back towards the bunker. Now we can go for the SCVs. This is a really bad situation for JH here, because now he's going to have to juggle back and forth between front and back to stop those zealots from dealing damage. Or first zealot goes down. A little bit of mismanagement for GoldSCV there. Because JH... Ooh, he's going to lose an SCV. He's going to lose a second SCV as well. Is there going to be a third loss? Alright, zealot's just going to keep walking away. Front here is... Well, is JH still contesting the front here? GoldSCV failing to put up... Well, the back cannon is going to go up because there's simply too many zealots there in the front to stop to let those Marines kill those cannons. So single cannon got cancelled. Bunker is going to go down. Zealots hammering away at the Marines. Zealots have to pull back towards the cannon where they are safe. Still single zealot walking in circles inside of the base of JH. JH pulling all of his Marines. And let's look at GoldSCV. There's a gas up there. Subnet course we started. Still 3 gateways there in the middle, so he's got his gas coming up really soon. He's got his tech coming up really soon as well. Goes in, gonna kill the depot, which is gonna put Voss into a very short span of being supply stuck. There's supply stuck, and he is unsupply stucked. Right, that's fortunate for JH that the timing is pretty much in his favor. SCV moves around to the other side just with the perfect timing, saves its own life. Completely unplanned, but it just so happens to be in favor of JH that he manages to keep that SCV alive and finish the factory. Gonna clear out the pylon there in the top. Nexus has been added for GoldSCV. There is a Citadel of Adun on the way as well. Should be followed up by a Dark Templars. I mean, just a Templars archive. Engineering bay there. Starport here on the bottom side, but those two Zealots are gonna find the SCV and kill the SCV, but the SCV gets pulled off. SCV manages to run away with his life. Barely escapes, but now the SCV here in the top gets attacked. Now the Phalanx is gonna get attacked as well. Phalanx is gonna have to get lifted up. Good lift up from JH. GoldSCV now has to pull back his Zealots back to those cannons. Phalanx gets landed on the low ground. Alright, it's a pretty tight back and forth between these two players. Starport manages to come up, which means that JH is going for a fast tank drop here. GoldSCV still trying to touch and feel where he can find an opening or a weakness or a mistake from JH to give himself nice pickup on those Marines, but JH is very vigilant and is not relenting. He's not giving GoldSCV a chance to really abuse him. The only abuse he's suffered so far is losing a couple of SCVs, a bunker here in the front and a depot, and an SCV that was making the engineering bay, but everything is now up and running for JH. There's a control tower being added onto the starport. Should be about 40 seconds until we can see a dropship out. And GoldSCV, having seen the dropship, the starport, knowing that the dropship is going to be coming, starts throwing up a bunch of cannons around his main nexus to protect those probes, to prevent them from getting hit by a tank drop. But the game is looking quite dire here for GoldSCV because JH is already pushing out, and he's gonna have to rely entirely on these Dark Templars to keep JH inside of his base. JH has now started adding on a command center, so there's no scan just yet, but considering the command center will finish in about 15 seconds or so, we'll be seeing a scan coming out as well because he's got an academy. There is no science facility out just yet. There's no choke for JH either. But I don't think JH is going to go for the choke here. I think he's going to try to push his advantage. Robotic facility has come down for GoldSCV. Zealot's going to try to hammer away at those tanks. Cut some holes in it with their nice, whatever blades they are using. But I can actually see what blades they're using. Psy blades. Alright, that's warp blades. Alright, that's not as imaginative as I thought they'd be, but tank drop flies in. It's gonna fail to unload a single unit, so that's 4 fire bats flown into their deaths along with a tank. You will be missed. And JH now finally adding onto his base for realsies, building a choke as well. 2 bunkers, a couple depots, gonna plug up the hole here. Yeah, this is going to clean up the pylons. GoldSCV now building a buffer of cannons here. Templars as well. It's very smart to build Templars because you know that your opponent at this stage in the game pretty much has a couple of tanks, but mostly Marines. And those storms can absolutely decimate the Terran when he's trying to move out. Same for these Dark Templars. Because he's preventing this choke from being finished up here. It's a very slow game, but it's progressing along. Shuttle speed on the way there. Templars, Psionic Storm also on the way. More Zealots being warped in here. Another shuttle being on the way. Fly that shuttle up here to those Templars. Load those Templars up. And they're going to try to land a drop on JH. But JH has already started building static turret defense here to protect himself against those Templar storms. So I don't think a single shuttle will get in just yet. He's going to need a Corsair to assist. And he's already thinking ahead here because he's already adding on a Stargate for the Corsair that I just mentioned. Another robotic facility being added on, 2 in fact. And he's now also started adding gateways because his probe count is now already quite high on 60. 59. 1 short of 60. GoldSCV now on 2 extra command centers. GoldSCV knowing that the top side should be completely turreted up. The sides and elects to go for the bottom side of JH base where there are no turrets here. Actually, there's even a vision here on the bottom side. He does get spotted out by this SCV making a factory, but he's gonna unload the Dark Templars regardless. But JH has scans. He's gonna look for the Dark Templar, finds the Dark Templar, gonna chase the Dark Templar. The Templar is gonna Ooh, the vision is gonna expire, so the Dark Templar stays alive. Does he have energy on the scan? He doesn't have energy on the scan, so he's gonna have to run those Marines back to safe. Right, Dark Templar runs into the range of the turret and goes down. Another 2 shuttles have arrived at the Templars. We'll load them up with Zealots and Templars. More gateways being added on en masse. Corsair about to finish up so we can fly those shuttles in safely. A couple of Marines being positioned there around the minerals to protect them. A single tank there too, 2 tanks in fact. He's gonna go for where he believes to be the weakest point, which is pretty much against the corner of the map, because you can realistically build less turrets there. Right, drop, flies in, unload, starts unloading, and a single shuttle. Ooh, he still has the Templars in there, right? He drops a Templar on the low ground, he gets a storm off on those Marines, there's still a single Templar in there, and ooh, it's gonna die. Unfortunate little mismanaged from GoldSCV. There's still a Templar on the low ground there. It has energy, but I don't think GoldSCV knows that it has energy, but even if it does decide to walk up, this tank is gonna take it down before it can even get in range of storming those minerals. But it's always worth a shot. Worth a shot, in my opinion. Always worth a shot. It's gonna keep sending those shuttles. I think he rallied them up to this point, so we can keep loading those up. It's also a nice setup for just building Storms and Templars and Zealots to immediately load up into a shuttle for Storm drops. GoldSCV managing to turn his absolute failure of an early game mid build into pretty good mid-game section, in my opinion. Voss is bigger than you'd want him to be, and GoldSCV hasn't really been able to do any damage regardless of the game, but he's managed to salvage it, because failing a mid-build can spell the end of the Protoss very early into the game, because the Terran can go very offensive and counter pretty hard. But he does manage to fly in the drop, the shuttle gets focused down, he does get a storm off, he gets a storm off on all of the SCVs because Voss is too lazy to dodge the drop. Oh, that's frustrating to watch. Voss was doing so well. He held the mid build with pretty much no effort whatsoever. Started building up. Was doing really well. And then he decides not to dodge drop because he didn't get vision of a different spot. You don't always gonna get vision of a different spot, no matter how. Like in this case, when you're unable to leave your base, just make a Wraith and fly that Wraith somewhere so you can see gas on another base and dodge storms with your SCVs. So otherwise you get in this situation where you're doing pretty damn well and then pretty much just throw the game away because you don't dodge a drop, because you think you can snipe the shuttles before they can reach your mineral count, your mineral line. Alright, the Corsair is on low HP, so that's a bit troublesome. Drop comes flying in from the bottom side, gets a storm off on a couple of Marines from the south side, but now a drop's going to come in from the north side as well. Voss, will he pull off his SCVs this time around? He doesn't pull off his SCVs already, he pulls off his SCVs, but most of his SCVs are again gonna go down, so he gets reset to the 0 point, although he still has a couple of SCVs left. Most of them are scattered around the base though, so they are definitely not going to be put on the minerals to mine. 30 SCVs left, about 6 or 7 of them, well, maybe 10 of them. 10 of them are not mining minerals. Ah, wait, 12. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. There's about 20 SCVs mining minerals at the moment. That's what matters. And what matters even more is that GoldSCV is so far ahead here that he's already started his fleet beacon. And now he's going to start building his carrier expo there on the side. And he's going to start streaming in units to go for the frontal attack to break open this choke here. Because he can, at this point now, afford to lose those zealots there in the front. And he's not attacking the depots, not attacking whatsoever. He's just going to try to go for... Alright, he's finally attacking the bunkers there. Bunker's going to go down. Tanks also went down there in the back. Now he's going to take down these depots here in the front. Drop is going to come flying in at the same time. Will Voss respond? Will Voss pull his SCVs off of the minerals? Voss is not pulling the SCVs off of the minerals. Voss got stormed once again. This time he does dodge the storm quite well. Good storm dodge from JH, but now his front has been broken open, meaning that he is exposed to the frontal attack from GoldSCV, but GoldSCV decides against sending those Dragoons in. I do think he could have taken down at least 2 more tanks with those Dragoons there, but he's going to decide to ball up more units. It's going to take a while because he doesn't have enough gateways, but a drop comes flying in. Another drop. Will JH pull off his SCVs? He gets a storm off, and he gets stormed once again. I'm not sure what GoldSCV is doing there, but he just keeps losing his SCVs even though he is in a position, and he is responding to each drop by stimming his marines to snipe those shuttles, but he is not in time, he's not fast enough. And I honestly think he should just stim those marines and immediately pull his SCVs off. Like, don't target fire at this point. Just pull those SCVs off, bring them to safety, and ensure your income. Because right now you're just exposing yourself to danger continuously, non-stop, time and time again. GoldSCV now pushing in through the front. Dragoons clearing out those bunkers. A lot of shuttles flying in. But he's unloading those shuttles right on top of those tanks, clearing out those units on the low ground. This is going to be pretty much impossible for Voss to hold at this point. If he holds this, it's going to be an absolute complete miracle. Because he's losing so many ground forces at the same time. Get 2 storms, 2 zealots, to everything you can imagine. He's got SCVs on his minerals, about 26, but it's definitely not enough. He cannot produce and reproduce his entire mass quick enough in the face of this frontal assault from GoldSCV. GoldSCV doing a great good job at keeping his dragoons there away from the tanks, so they won't die to the tanks. He's going to deal as much damage as he can outside of the range of the tanks. Focus on those factories, armories, and depots there on the top left side of JH base. Zealots streaming in, Zealots taking care of those marines there on the low ground. Zealots just very slowly gonna peel away at JH there. Those dragoons on the side peeling away way faster and quicker. There's a Templar there on the low ground. Templar gets picked up by the shuttle. He's gonna reroute his dragoons a little bit higher, so he can fly this shuttle in and get 2 storms up on those SCVs once again and end the game once and for all. Command center 1 down. More units gonna come streaming in. He's making carriers, but he doesn't even need carriers at this point. You can just keep walking in more units and pretty much run JH over. Shuttle there in the back. Shuttle needs just a couple of hits before it goes down. Shields regenerate quicker than I thought, to be honest. Shuttle comes in. He gets the marines. Ooh, he gets a storm off on those SCVs. SCVs go down. He lost about 29 SCVs there. He was on 49. Now he's on 20 again. 18. Oh, he's losing even more, and he calls the GG. And I really thought JH had it in the back for a while there, but his decision to not dodge those storm drops, even though he was pretty far ahead of GoldSCV in terms of where he should be and where GoldSCV should be at that time in the game. And GoldSCV pulls off a pretty nice neato win over JH. And it's kind of feeling 50-50 over this one. JH really played this one really well. GoldSCV, ooh, yeah, it's pretty much a spot abuse win in my honest opinion. Although the drops that mattered, that really did hit JH, were flown in from the side here instead of from the top here. So you can't really call it spot abuse. It's not really spot abuse. If it flies in from the side here, if it flies in from the top, it's definitely spot abuse because the distance is just so short. Like, look at this. This distance versus this distance. There's just so much more reaction time flying in from the side here than it is from the top. But considering GoldSCV did not hit his drops when flying in from the top, I can't really call it a spot abuse win. So yeah, pretty well played from GoldSCV. Good recovery from the failed mid build. And JH, I beg you, please dodge those drops. Please. Because you should have won this one. Anyway, enough ranting and complaining about the lack of dodged drops from JH. I hope you enjoyed this game. It was kind of a 50-50 game, not the most exciting, not the most eventful. Kind of a standard game, to be honest. But a good recovery from GoldSCV. Comes up with a win. GG, well played. Goodbye, and see you the next time.